Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. All right. What's up? What's up? Welcome in. All right. So today, let's see here. I think I messed it up. Hang on. Let's move this into the frame here. I'm trying to make this chat thing a little bigger so I could see it. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties right out the gate, but I think we are good to go here. Nope. Every time I move that. All right. Screw it. We'll just keep it small. All right. What's going on, everyone? All right, so normally when I do my videos, I do deep dives on companies, and we've done 20 companies at this point, and I have a ton more to do, but the amount of trucking companies that exist out there are far more than I could ever get to. So the goal with these live streams and the shallow dive lives here is to shine some light on some of the smaller companies that might not hit my radar as far as the big names in the trucking industry. I think I've done the math on it before, and if I were to do every company that had over 100 trucks in their fleet, it would take me like 2,000 years to do it at one video per week, and that's what I put out videos at. So I want to try to make sure I shine some light on some companies that might not see the light of day on a full deep dive. We could also get into some that are the bigger companies too and just take a quick look. But I'm going to try to get to as many companies as I can by your guys' requests. So by your guys' request, excuse me. So if you guys were wanting to look into a specific company, we're curious about whatever company that you wanted to check out, we'll do a quick little shallow dive, meaning that we're going to take a look at their website, see what they're saying on there, maybe some reviews, nothing too deep, no recruiter phone calls or anything, or I'm going too deep into the reviews or some video reviews, just a quick little shallow skim over the top. Take a look at it and see what they are offering to new drivers, and just off of a small little deep dive, figure out whether I think it's a good company to start with. So go ahead and leave your comments in the thing, and I will get to them. There is a little bit of a delay on the stream, so if it takes a minute, please be a little bit understanding of that. We're looking here, and I'm seeing a company called Covenant. Yes, we did do a deep dive on Covenant already. Feel free to check that out. Any of my deep dives are in the OK or No Way playlist on my channel. So you can click there and see all of the deep dives that I've already done. If you see a company, or if you don't see a company in there that I've done already, most likely I will get to it. But some of the smaller companies, I believe on the last live stream, we did PTI, Paper Transport Incorporated. We did another a company for liquid nitrogen and things like that. So we've looked at some smaller companies on these. So if there's any local companies that you guys might have in your neighborhood, in your town that you're just curious about, hey, maybe I can go work for them, drop those in the comments. If not, we'll take a quick look at what we got. All right, so while we're waiting, we'll take a quick look at Covenant. I believe it was my determination on that was an okay, but just barely. Covenant is a team operation. So a lot of companies will do solo driving, and other companies will do like team driving. Covenant is pretty much exclusively a team operation. So you'll go to orientation with them, you'll get started, and you'll get linked up with a teammate and go team driving. Actually, give me just a second here. I actually have my notes from Covenant. Starting out, they don't have any CDL training. 145 hours of post-CDL training, meaning when you come on board with them, you'll have to go with the trainer for 145 hours, 52 cents per mile, approximately 5,500 miles per week split between both drivers. That means each driver would be about $1,430 a week pre-tax. Home time is 12 days out for 2 days home. Tuition reimbursement is $250 a month up to $10,000, and they do offer veterans benefits, but you'll have to call them and figure out what those are exactly. I'm not a veteran, so I don't know the lingo enough to get that information pulled out of those companies, unfortunately. If they offer something, I do ask about that because I do care about the veterans of this country. So, all right, I'm already out of breath and we're just getting started here. Any other companies requests that we got here? Let me hear them. I try to talk super fast on these just to keep everything flowing, and I end up running myself out of breath. Walpool Inc. I've never heard of them. Let me write that down just so I got it right here. Roll, we did a deep dive on Roll already. Check that out in the OK or No Way playlist on my channel. Walpool. Now, I've been catching a lot of flack in the comments recently. Hey, Kia Green, how you doing? SDM, good afternoon, how are you? Yep, CFI. CFI is on my list to do, but we can maybe take a quick little deep dive on, or a quick little shallow dive on them while we're in this live stream here. Let's go ahead and check out this. Good to hear you're doing good, Kia. Walpool Inc. See what we can find out about them. Let me pull this up. Walpool Inc. Trucking? Trucking jobs, freight solution, Walpool, okay. Sure, I'll agree to some of that stuff there. Okay. All right, let me flip this thing over here and check out the reaction side here. All right, so the way their layout is kind of weird. It's not going to fit totally in screen. Like their background isn't moving with the screen. It's like everything else is moving around it. But at the bottom here, it looks like you see a little hopper trailer, tanker trailer, and a dry van. So it looks like they have a couple of opportunities with different types of trucking. Careers, let's see, apply to drive immediately. They're not telling us anything about the company. All right, let's see, view openings, see what they got here. Job listings, sure. Dump driver, okay. Let's go with Class A driver, Gadsden, Alabama. View details. No, I'm not going to enter my information. Okay, here we go. Company drivers earn up to $1,500 weekly. If a 34-hour reset occurs away from home, there's additional compensation. Company drivers at Walpool used well-maintained equipment that is new and dependable, minimizing unnecessary downtime. Okay, so one of the things that you're going to notice anytime you're doing some job searching, the big things that companies are going to advertise is industry-leading pay, top-of-the-line equipment, you know, all these things. Every company's offering it. Everybody can't be the best. It just doesn't exist. Guaranteed weekly minimum pay, okay, doesn't really say what that is, but a guaranteed pay is okay. That's cool. Sign-on bonus of $2,000 to company drivers. Okay, just keep in mind on sign-on bonuses that this does not mean that as soon as you walk in the door, you're getting $2,000. Most companies will have a time period at which that $2,000 is paid out. Generally, you'll get a portion of it at 6 months, another portion at a year, another portion at 90 days. Whatever their policy is, that'll be paid out that way. It's not going to be walk in the door, get your keys, and they hand you a check for $2,000. Frequent home time, paid uniforms, paid vacation. So you got to wear uniforms. I don't know, that might be hit or miss for some people. Holiday pay, safety bonus program, longevity pay and bonuses. Again, I'm not seeing what that means. What do these things mean? Fuel bonus program. Now, when we're looking at bonuses, you got two right here. When you're looking at a company, obviously you're going to have to call the recruiters on these ones because it's not showing a whole lot of information. Make sure that the base pay is what you're looking at. Bonuses are great, but sometimes there's things that can affect those, things that are unforeseen that you might derail your bonus with, whether you get a ticket or you get into a little fender bender at the Love's parking lot because some jerk off parked in the wrong spot and parked in a no parking zone. No slip seating, fuel bonus program, again, benefits, that's pretty standard. Class A license. Okay, here's the minimum requirements. This is the part that we're going to look at right here. Class A CDL, duh. 1 year driving experience. So this is not a starter company, but once you get to a year of experience, it might be okay. Again, they're not showing a whole lot of details as far as pay or anything, so I can't say whether or not good driving record, no endorsements needed, minimum years, minimum 23 years old. What are you waiting for? How about you tell us what we're going to make? That's what I'm waiting for. Okay, so that was just that. I hate to leave it like that with nothing as far as pay. About. Is there anything in the about us? We've been at it for 70 years. Yeah, unfortunately, some of these websites aren't going to show you what they're making. And that's unfortunate. And that's why in the deep dives, I make sure I try to call these recruiters and get some information. Recruiters can lie. It does happen. But at least it's an idea of what you're going to make. So unfortunately with Walpool, you're going to need a year of experience, and they're not showing anything for pay. So I apologize. This deep dive or the shallow dive on this one kind of sucks. Hopefully they pay decent. It looks like they have good options. It looks like they have nice trucks. As far as what to drive, whether it be a hopper truck or a tanker or a dry van. Excuse me. Yeah, all right. So back to the comments here. CFI, we got them. Martin, okay. Took 6 months to get my full sign-on with the current company. Okay. Why does it take so long to be cleared when you're in orientation? Oh, okay. So when you go to an orientation with a company, one of the first things that they're going to do is they're going to do a drug test. They're going to do potentially a physical. That drug test is really what takes so long to come back. It takes 2 to 3 days to come back. These orientations don't need to be 3 days long. They're literally telling you how to fill out paperwork, and that's about it. Their company policies, all that stuff. It really could be a one-day deal, but those drug tests have to come back. So I've seen some stuff as well with a lot of these companies that they are not checking the drivers ahead of time. They're not doing the background, and I don't know how to solve for that problem because I've never had to go through it. Where I signed on, I got into the orientation class, sat there for a week, and ended up getting kicked back because somebody didn't do the paperwork properly. So I've seen a little bit of that, so be leery on that. Make sure you're checking in with your recruiter. Hey, I need some confirmation that I am actually indeed employed with you guys, and that when I start on with the company, I'm good to go. Okay, talking about a week. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've never had to experience that. The longest orientation I had was like 3 days, and again, it was just waiting for those drug tests to come back. But I haven't gone through an orientation class in quite a while. A lot of companies have switched to having you go and do a drug test ahead of time, but I'm not sure why it's taken a week, or what company you're with. That might help too. In general, how long does it take for a background check to complete? Asking because I will be applying for a hazmat endorsement, and I heard it could take 30 to 60 days. Yeah, when I applied for it, I don't have my hazmat. I didn't go through with getting it because the company that I was going to go to work for kind of backed out. But I did get the fingerprints and the background and all that. I want to say it took like 2 weeks. Some people it takes longer. Some people it takes shorter. Okay, so you went with Prime. I'm not sure what the deal is with Prime. I know I did a deep dive on them. I'm not sure why it's taking so long for them. But, yeah. Yeah, 30 to 60 days is a fair estimate to get your hazmat back as far as your background check. They want to make sure that criminal history is pretty good. They want to make sure that you're a U.S. citizen and you're not a danger. You're not going to take a hazmat load into a tunnel and blow up a whole side of the mountain or anything. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. Let's do a quick little thing on CFI here. I know I want to get to them on a deep dive. Let me actually check my notes here and see if they are coming up. Yes, okay. So CFI will be coming up. It's going to be a couple of months still before we get to see CFI for a full deep dive, because I'm really trying to push hard to get through these no experience required companies, and I have a few more of those to get through. But CFI is in that 3 months of experience needed range, so they will be coming up on a deep dive for that. But just for taking a quick look sake here, let's flip back over and see if we can find out some more information about CFI. Everybody doing all right tonight? Starting to warm up down here in Tennessee a little bit. I'm looking forward to some nicer weather. It's been pretty cold. Hauling steel in a Conestoga. I've never hauled a Conestoga. It looks so much more simple than having to throw tarps. CFI Customer Solutions. Drive for us. Recent grad. All right, so let's flip to the reaction one here. All right, we're looking at, this is Heartland, not CFI. Is it the same company? Because I'm on CFI's right here, and then I switch to recent grad, and it brings me to Heartland. Let's do a quick Google search here. Google, is Heartland owned by CFI? Yes, Heartland Express owns Contract Freight Incorporated, or CFI. Heartland Express acquired the U.S. dry van and temperature-controlled truckload business from CFI from TFI International in August of 2022. As of late 2025, Heartland is fully integrated and rebranding CFI's U.S. operations into Heartland Express brand. Okay, so it looks like as of 2025, last year, late last year, CFI will be becoming Heartland Express. So CFI as a name is probably going to phase out. It's not going to be a thing anymore. So that's why when we're over here on CFI's website, we click Drive for Us, Recent Grad, it's pulling up Heartland Express. So they are one and the same. But nevertheless, let's take a quick look. Earn $60 to $95 per year. Let's see if we can find some cents per mile to see if that pans out, actually. Let me write that down. CFI equals Heartland. Okay, so average is $69,000 per year. Average weekly pay is $13.36 per week. $13.36. Top drivers are earning $18.19 per week. I'm guessing these numbers are pre-tax. Out for 4 weeks, home for 4 days. So every week out, you get 1 day home. That's pretty standard. Average of 2,400 plus miles per week. Now, I will tell you, starting out, 2,400 is a little bit challenging to reach. As a new driver, you should be expecting around 2,000 miles. Okay, so let's take their numbers here. Quarterly safety bonus of 1 to 3 cents per mile. Again, like I said a little bit earlier in the stream, safety bonuses are great. They're a nice benefit, but you don't want to take that as the for sure thing. That's what's going to happen. You're 100% going to get that bonus. Stick with the base pay. Let's do some reverse math here. They're claiming that the average is $6,900 per week. Average weekly pay is $13.36 per week. Okay, and they are claiming 2,400 miles per week. 2,400 miles. What's going on, everyone? Welcome in. Hey, leave your company requests down below. I'll see what I can do about getting to them. Sorry, I flipped over here. Calculator. All right, sweet. So we're over here on CFI, Heartland Express. Looks like they're going to become the same company. Average weekly pay is $13.36. We're going to divide that by, they said, about 2,400 miles per week. That would mean that you're making 55 cents per mile. That's great if that's actually what it is. 55 cents per mile is good. So from what little research I did on them, just to find their experience requirement, they wanted 3 months of experience. Let's see if we can flip back over here first. Additional benefits, paid orientation and training. Duh, everybody does that. 48 state operating area. Kenworth, Freightliner, Internationals. Okay. Kenworths are the best. If you have the option out of these three, my personal favorite's Kenworth. Trucks are running at 68 miles per hour. Detention pay is $20 per hour. Okay. Let's close that down. Newly updated, remodeled coast-to-coast terminal facilities with free shower, free laundry, TV, food, and much more. Okay, so qualifications. Class A CDL, 6 months of verifiable tractor-trailer driving experience within the last year. So they're a little bit less than what this Walpool was, but we're still looking at 6 months of verifiable tractor experience, which means I'm going to have to update my list because that's From what I understood when I was doing my research about a month ago, they only required 3 months. Must be at least 21 years of age, safety first attitude, and proven driving record. So if those numbers pan out to 55 cents per mile, that's good. But again, we are reversing their process here. We need to call up the recruiters. Right here's their phone number. If you want to write that down, if you're super pressed on going with them, write down their phone number, give them a call, and get a for sure cents per mile. And just like we did on the calculator there, you just do a little bit of math to figure out how much you're going to make. Let's reverse this here, and I'll show you guys real quick for new people that have come into this live stream that haven't seen my stuff before. Let's say the company says you're going to make 2,500 miles a week at 45 cents per mile. You're going to be at $11.25 pre-tax. Now, I will tell you, as a new driver, you're probably going to be more closer to 2,000 miles per week, depending on the company. 45 cents per mile, I think, is a little bit on the lower end, but it seems right about average across the 20 companies that I've done a deep dive on so far. So would I go to work for Heartland Express? Based off of the limited information that we have here, it looks like it would be fine. Not a big issue. Again, they'll call the recruiters up. If you don't like the recruiter that you get, call them again and ask for a different recruiter. It happens. So, but it looks like CFI and Heartland are becoming the same company. So if you're looking for one, you're basically looking for the other. All right. How's everybody doing? Let's take a look at these comments here. Oh, goodness. You guys are busy in the comment section tonight. Peace, everyone. New contractor hauling steel, flat back Conestoga cover. I'm in my late 50s and I would rather haul no-touch freight. Any suggestions? Yeah, you're looking for a dry van company. I would stay away from reefer personally. The big reason for that is you sit in the dock way too long. It's mostly a night shift. Most loads and unloads are at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So you're going to have to drive overnight to get there. And I've spent a lot of hours sitting in a dock on a reefer. And a lot of times too, they will refuse the load for whatever reason. Say you're hauling apples and they inspect it and 1, 2 pallets of apples have a couple of dings in them, or the packages is a little bent. They're not going to take those. And it's your responsibility to figure out where the heck you're going to dump them, whether you're taking them to a dump, whether you're offloading them into a dumpster somewhere, whatever you got to do. I'm not a big fan of reefer, but that's just me. Okay. Ozark. Ozark is going to be coming up. Let me take a look again here at my notes. Why isn't Ozark? Oh, there it is. Okay. Ozark does require 6 months of experience. The way I'm doing these deep dives is I'm ordering them based off of experience requirements. I'm trying to finish up these last few here for no experience required. And then we're going to start moving into companies that require more experience to get started. This way, if you're getting started in your first trucking company and you've come to my channel to say, hey, what's up, and see what's going on with the companies, when you're ready at 6 months, a year, whatever, hopefully by that time, I'm moving on to companies that are requiring more experience, and you can come on right back and check out what we've done while you guys have been getting your experience. Now, I know I've been doing these deep dives for about a year now, so I understand the push to try to get to those experienced ones, but there's just so many companies to do them, and that's why I wanted to do these shallow dive lives here to try to give some attention to these companies that I'm never going to get to, just because it would be impossible for me to cover every single company out there. Let me take a drink real quick. Heartland bought CFI. Yep, that's what we figured out. Blizzard coming through tomorrow in New Jersey. You got to be kidding me. I'm so ready to be done with winter. I know I live in Tennessee and it's really not that bad here, but I'm looking forward to some nice warm weather. It's starting to warm up a little bit. Okay, advice for buddy who just graduated CDL school but has serious traffic offense. Speeding 30 over on his MVR less than a year old. Go anywhere that will take him and focus on keeping a clean MVR. Yeah, so if you got a little bit of stains on your background, there are some second chance companies out there, Western Express being the big one. Look, you're not going to make good money at Western Express. It just doesn't happen. I actually had somebody comment on my channel the other day who was doing a video showing his pay stub. Now, granted, he was taking a little bit of advance, like $150 advance, but his paycheck was $250. Like, that's absolutely absurd, meaning that his regular paycheck was about $400. So it's really rough getting started with them, but they will give some opportunity to people who otherwise wouldn't have one. All right, let's see what else we got here. Heads up on CFI. Yep, we're on that. Would anyone want to do reefer with all these issues and crazy hours sitting? Yeah. A reefer is not my favorite. Not my favorite at all. I've done it. I really have, and it just doesn't trip that I enjoy doing this thing on my noggin. All right, I seen Martin in here. So let's go ahead and work on taking a look at them. Hey, if you're just joining the live stream, I do deep dives on my channel most of the time. I will never be able to get to all the companies. So this is an opportunity to hit some of those smaller companies that will never see the light of day on the channel in the main deep dive. So leave that in the comments, and I will see what I can get to. We're going to go a little bit longer on this one is my goal. The last time I only did for about an hour, and you guys showed up and showed out, and you guys had a great time. I really enjoyed doing it. So I'm going to try to keep it going a little bit longer, probably 6:30, depending on how things are going. We'll just keep it flowing as it comes. All right. So Martin, Andress Transportation. Let's look at them. Andress. Is that spelled right? Levitate over unruly, deviant minds. Make sure you got that spelling right. If so, I'll come back to it. All right, y'all keep it up. I appreciate you guys coming out and spending your Saturday evening with me and checking out some companies. We are fixing to do a little bit of a shallow dive here into Martin. Fun fact, I actually applied to go work for Martin and talked to a recruiter and everything one point in my career. And a company that I had previously worked for called me up and said, hey, why are you going to work for them? Come back and work with us. So we've seen that they were requesting information on how you were as a driver, and you don't want to go work for them. Come back, work for us. So this was a long time ago. We'll see if everything looks out. They sounded okay when I was talking to them. Apologize if you guys hear any noises. I actually operate my studio out of my garage. So the garage door is right there, and sometimes people in my neighborhood like to set off their horns and kids go rolling by sometimes. Okay. Search for jobs. Let's flip over to this reaction channel here. Driving opportunities. Okay, so it looks like they have a bunch of stuff going on. Regional refrigerated, regional dry van, dedicated, over-the-road dry van teams, and owner-operators. So it looks like they got a lot going on. They are a very big company. You'll see them all over the place if you just open your eyes a little bit. So let's go ahead and stick with Class A over-the-road. Okay. All right, averages and earnings include $1,350 to $1,750 per week. Let's draw a line here. Martin, $1,350 to $1,750 a week. Earn $70,000 to $91,000 per year. Late model equipment with APUs, automatic transmissions, and inverters on all tractors. So if you're wanting to drive stick, it's not going to happen with them. I hate that stick is phasing out. I prefer to drive manual all day long, but I know a lot of these schools, a lot of these companies are issuing CDLs with that automatic restriction, and it stinks for the industry because automatics are trash. Drop and hook freight, more miles, less waiting, potential for detention pay from 0 to $160 per 24-hour period. Let's pull up the calculator real quick. 160 divided by 24 hours. That's $6.66 an hour. That's a terrible detention pay. Detention pay, you're really looking 20 and up for your detention pay. That's terrible. There you go. I don't have any more to say about that. Potential for additional inclement weather pay, $0 to $150 per day. Potential for additional layover pay, up to $150 per day. Potential for additional reefer bonuses. Additional referral bonuses from $0 to $2,500 per referral with unlimited earning potential. So basically what they're saying is you can invite all your friends and never stop inviting people, and each time you could earn up to $2,500. But this specification right here is super sketchy to me. Everything on this list is from zero. So there's a chance that you're not going to make crap for any of this stuff. Detention pay, inclement weather, layover, all that stuff. That's really important to make sure that you have in your contract. We can't control shippers and receivers. If they want to lollygag and take 7-8 hours to get you loaded up, they can do it, and there's really not much repercussion unless the company is offering detention pay. And that normally kicks in after the first 2 hours, and you'll start making $20 an hour after that point. So it's not great. It's much better to be driving, but it's something. Okay. Additional benefits, guaranteed minimum pay, health and vision, dental insurance, free LifeWorks program. Okay, so some mental health, parenting education, financial and legal, and so much more. That's actually pretty cool. I don't know if it's any good, but being a truck driver and being out on the road all the time by yourself, it's depressing as all get out. If you don't have a group of friends that you can call, if it's just you, even if you have friends, it's a lonely life and it can be very depressing. So some mental health advocation here is really cool. 401k company match, free CPAP testing and supplies. A lot of truckers have sleep apnea. Now, this isn't going to bar you from having a CDL. Again, do your DOT physical, talk to your doctor about what you can do. If you have any questions about a DOT physical, I did a video on that. Give me just a second here and I will figure out what that video was called. A lot of times I name these videos and I don't remember what I call them. We're looking at Martin here, but I'm trying to find this stuff for you guys so you guys can be informed. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Something like what could disqualify you from passing a DOT physical. It has been a while. Can you pass a DOT physical? ? Here's what it takes. That is the name of the video. Let's see here. The thumbnail looks like that kind of. So, yep. If you want to check that out, feel free to look and see if you would qualify for a DOT physical. I list all the disqualifying factors in there. Not all of them, most of the disqualifying factors in there to try to get you guys informed as possible. Before you go applying to companies and getting your CDL, if you're not in good physical health, it might be a problem. Okay, back to this stuff here. I understand my picture's kind of in the way a little bit. Pet policy, bring your furry companion. That's a big one for a lot of people. Some companies don't have a pet policy and you want to bring your canine or your cat with you. Free rider program, see the country together. Up to $2,500 driver referral program. We already seen that. PTO, personal time off. Relax, you deserve it. Now, I wonder, you're going to have to call the driver recruiters again on this one, but PTO, does that mean paid time off or personal time off? If it's paid, great. If not, that's just trucking. You get a couple of days off. Tuition assistance, employee discount program. Okay, so, I mean, it looks good. Here we go. Must have at least 6 months of recent Class A experience with one carrier after completing training. So I definitely recommend, if you're just getting started in this industry and you're at a company that maybe you don't like, maybe you're not a fan of it, stick it out for 6 months to a year and your doors are going to open up big time as soon as you start to move on. A lot of the bigger name companies will require 6 months of experience or more. So once you get to 3 years, I think 3 years is like the perfect mark to where there's not really a whole lot of people that are not going to mess with you. Okay, so let's take their pay range here. We're looking at $13.50 to $17.50 per week. And let's divide that by 2,400 miles. We'll see where it's at and see about what their cents per mile is. This isn't going to be super accurate. This is just guesstimate, so don't quote me on this. Let's do a nice median, 1,500 divided by, let's do 2,200 miles a week. That's at 68 cents per mile. So, but this is 6 months of required experience, so you would have a little bit of experience requirements. Let's do all clear. Let's try $1,500 divided by, let's say if you do 2,000 miles a week. That's 75 cents per mile. Okay, so my guess is something is not right here, because 75 cents per mile, that's the big bucks. I've been driving for 3 years. 4 years, 5 years. I've never seen 75 cents per mile personally. The highest I've ever been is 70 cents per mile. So call up the recruiter, see what your area is offering for cents per mile for Martin Transport. Expect the best. Let's see. Anybody from Kentucky? Let's see if they're, oh, this is dedicated. I don't want dedicated. Dedicated, the reason why I don't lean towards dedicated when I'm looking for stuff, well, it looks like everything in here is dedicated, is because it all depends on the lane. Every single one is going to be different. There's no real steady anything with it. Las Vegas is a regional, but it's reefer. Blech. All right, let's see. Sign-on bonus, blah, same stuff, same stuff. Okay, it's not going to show a cents per mile, unfortunately. But I mean, if you're making $1,200 to $1,700 per week, that's not bad. I would hope that it is more towards that 1,700 miles per week. Oh, sorry, I was on the wrong page here. Regional stuff. Yeah, okay, I messed that one up. My bad, guys. Regional opportunities. Looks like they have a bunch of job opportunities for dedicated and stuff all over the place. Louisville, Springfield, Las Vegas, Columbus, Ohio, Chicago. Bunch of opportunities for some dedicated freight. Call up the recruiter, see what they got to say. I would say okay, but I would definitely call a recruiter and see what's going on with that. Okay, let's take a look at some comments here while I take a drink. Should be making closer to 60 cents before a year of experience. I would say no to that. I've done a deep dive on 20 companies right now, and the highest I've seen is like 52, 55 cents per mile. But those companies ended up not having a whole lot of miles. So the equation that you're looking at is cents per mile and average miles per week. You could have $1 a mile, but if you're only making 1,000 miles per week, you're only making $1,000 for the week pre-tax, and that sucks. So it's all a balance there. And this whole, it's frustrating seeing the comments sometimes. And I know you guys might not understand, or you guys, some of the experienced drivers have experienced different things. I'm all about seeing things from different people's perspective. But a lot of people are saying it's ridiculous to have this amount of pay for, I can make that working at McDonald's. I can make that. Okay, look, the companies that I've done a deep dive on so far are starter companies, no experience required. And it's a lot like becoming a doctor. Okay, you're not going to make the top pay as a intern or a resident. You're not going to make top pay as a resident. But if you stick with it for a few years and you fully get your doctorate, you move up, you're going to be making some good money. And guess what? With trucking, you don't have to spend 8 years in college trying to figure it out. You take a 3-week program or 4-week, 2 months, whatever it is, and you got a whole career where you can make $100,000 a year plus. But it just takes time to get there. So screw all the naysayers that are saying things like, oh, that's garbage pay, man. You're getting started in the industry that's going to be a lifelong industry as far as anyone can tell right now. So it's good. Just some people get too worked up over nothing. All right. Yep, we did CFI. Hello, everyone. Oh, Andress Transportation. Wiley Sanders. I am going to be doing a deep dive on them. I want to see if I can find some more of these smaller companies. Okay, my training class at Milton had 45 people, and every one of them has left in under a year. Yeah, so again, a lot of people are looking for a better opportunity, and I said this in my Discord server. Shout out to people that are coming in from the Discord server. Appreciate you guys being here. I see your guys' chats all day long. You guys are awesome helping each other out. If you haven't joined the Discord server yet, go down to the link in the description, join the Discord server, chat it up with a bunch of new drivers. Some experienced drivers are in there. We're all there to help each other out, and that's the goal of the Discord server, is to have a support network around you while you're getting this career started. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, people are moving on for different reasons. In my career, I let people know in the Discord server that I've had 10 truck driving jobs in 10 years. And now one of them I know for sure I worked for 4 years. Another one I worked for a couple of years. So there's no harm in bouncing around a little bit and trying to see what works best for you. The grass is always greener on the other side is definitely not true, though. You got to find what works for you. Maybe you want more home time. Maybe you want more pay. Maybe you want more flexibility with your schedule. Whatever it is, chase after that. This is a big industry with a lot of different pathways to go through it. You could do box truck. You could do dump trucks. You could do big semi trucks. There's so many opportunities within trucking that it's a well-rounded career where you could do a bunch of different stuff and figure out what you like the most. Personally, I loved flatbed. I only did it for about 1.5 years before I got off of the road, but I really enjoyed doing it and having that connection with the community. Near where I live, there's a bunch of car washes. I brought blowers for all those car wash locations. And I can go to those specific car washes and say, hey, I brought that blower right there. So having that connection to the different communities was what drew me to flatbed. I know it's more work. It is a little bit more pay for that work, but that was my shtick. That's what I enjoyed doing. So find your thing, find what you like, and get after it. Reliable carriers, that's a good one. I'm not sure if they're going to have a whole lot of information, but those are some beautiful trucks. All right, let me write that one down on the list, and we will come back to that one after we check out this Andress. So for reliable carriers, from what I understand, is they transport luxury cars. But they have very closed off trucks. They normally have super sleepers on them. My guess is it's probably a team operation, because you don't want to be sitting on stuff that's that expensive at a truck stop somewhere, especially in Memphis, Tennessee. Shout out to a bunch of thugs over there stealing trailers and everything in them. Yeah, keep your doors locked in Memphis, Tennessee. My trailer's been broken into 2 times, and it was both times in Memphis, Tennessee. Andress Transport. All right, so if you're just joining, holy crap, we're at 32 viewers. This is the most I've ever seen. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. I'm here for you. That's the point of Trucker 219, is to help drivers. So I'm trying to get to some of these companies that might not see the light of day and the full deep dive. So we're just doing a quick shallow dive into some of these companies to see what they are all about. I don't remember who requested Andress. Andress, levitate over unruly deviant minds requested Andress. We are looking into them now. All right, so we're on Andress's website here. I don't know where you're out of, Mr. Deviant Minds or Mrs. Deviant Minds, but we're looking at Phoenix to Southern California. Okay, I know a lot of people ask about California and companies over there. A lot of the freight is moving on the East Coast, not so much the West Coast, so there's less companies out of there. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this Phoenix to Southern California for those that are over there in the sunshiny states and in the desert and stuff, and see what they're working with over there. All right, Arizona drivers, your best route and great pay and home time. Pay is $1,050 to $1,700 per week. That is a $700, well, $650 margin. That is huge. All right, Andress. 150 to 1,700. Okay, all right, moving right along here. Home weekly, drive and solo. I can't see a picture of their truck there. Okay, so this part right here is just blabbing about how cool the company is pretty much. Consistent miles, home time, first class support. Generous mileage and fuel bonuses. Again, don't bank on bonuses, bank on the base pay. Performance bonuses, longevity bonuses, but nobody cares. Give me a cents per mile. That's what I want to know. And then if I get a bonus, great. If not, oh well. Sick pay, that's interesting. I haven't seen a company with sick pay. Detention, drop and hook, and layover pay. That's good. Make sure when you're calling these people to find out what that is. Because if it was like the other company, Martin, that we took a look at, $160 for 24 hours of sitting at a dock, it amounts to $6 an hour, and that's garbage. You want to look for about $20 an hour for detention pay. All right, 6 paid holidays, sick day, medical, dental, life, disability, 401k, paid vacation, orientation, and other bonuses available. Rider program, pet policy, home weekly. License, you must have a Class A CDL license. Experience, you will need at least 1 year of over-the-road experience. Driving record, no DUIs or DWIs or reckless driving judgments in the last 5 years. At least 23 years old, must be able to pass all required DOT physicals. Hazmat endorsement, this is a big one. If you're wanting to work for them, you got to apply and receive your hazmat. Ability to obtain the endorsement within the first 90 days of employment. So my guess, if they're going to give you an opportunity to obtain it, you're going to have to do that background check stuff first. And all they will probably want is you to take that test. Okay. This was a dedicated driver from Phoenix to Southern California. So let's see if we can see any other ones. Just cruising through here, I'm guessing they're pretty much the same. Dallas Regional flatbed. Okay, this one was dry van. This one is flatbed out of Dallas. Flatbed solo, home weekly, $1,250 to $2,100 per week. $2,100 is pretty good. Have to call and find out what that cents per mile is or if there's a guarantee. This one looks regional though, so this isn't a local or dedicated. It's regional. So let's see some details about that. Check into them a little bit deeper. I'm not seeing a whole lot of other requests here, so we'll carry on working with these guys. Hey, if you guys got a request a trucking company. We'll take a look at them and see what they're all about. Flatbed solo, this was the regional out of Dallas. There's the phone number if you want to talk to them. Make sure you guys can see that. Base cents per mile is based on your overall driving experience, not just time at Andress. I wish I knew how to say some of these names. Roll messed me up, or rail. That one was rough too. Minimum weekly pay. Okay, $1,250 a week. So no matter what, as long as you're ready to work, you're going to get $1,250 a week. Not bad. I would much rather see this $2,100 per week. Sign-on bonus of $5,000. But again, keep in mind with the sign-on bonuses, you're not going to get that as soon as you walk in the door. You'll have 3 months, 6 months, 90 days, 1 year where those things will be paid out. It's not just right in the gate. I wish they would quit calling it a sign-on bonus and call it like a retention bonus or something like that. Performance bonuses, okay, that doesn't matter unless, again, look for that base pay, what you're going to get, which they have a guaranteed weekly minimum of $12.50. So if that's good with you, it seems all right. New flatbed seasonal tarp pay policy effective immediately. All tarped loads that deliver on or after December 15th through March 15th on all loads that deliver on or after June 15th through September 15th will be paid $100, I'm guessing per tarped load. So that's December through March, so in the winter and in the heat of summer, June through September, you'll get $100 for doing that. And that only leaves out a couple of months there. So $100 tarp fee is pretty good. I would expect at least $50 every time you tarp, not just in certain months, because it's extra work. And companies will pay for their loads to be tarped. So if you're picking up a load of lumber that's not been treated and they don't want to get it wet and get it moldy and all that stuff, they will pay the company that you work for to have that tarp service. Therefore, you're the one doing the tarping. Therefore, you should be the one to receive that pay, not them. They might take a little bit of it off the top to pay for the tarps and bungees and all that, but you should be receiving most of that. All tarp loads that deliver before and after these seasonal timeframes will be paid at a normal rate of $80. Okay, perfect. That's what I was wondering. You're going to get $80 for everything you tarp. During the hot seasons and the really cold seasons, you're going to get $100. So in my opinion, if it takes you 2 hours to get your load tarped and it pays you $100, you just made $50 an hour. That's a no-brainer. In my opinion, it makes it worth the headache of tarping. Regional Southern Lanes makes runs up to 500 miles of Dallas. So within a 500-mile radius, it looks like. Dependable weekly home time. Rider policy after 3 months with Andress permission. So they're going to determine that at a later time. It's not a guaranteed, hey, you're good to bring everybody on board. Pet policy, pets are allowed from your first load. No, that's important to a lot of people. Automatic trucks, Freightliners, and Volvos, fully loaded, yada, yada, yada. Same stuff as what the other one was at. 23 years or older, Class A, 12 months of over-the-road experience. They're wanting you to be at a year plus 6 months of flatbed experience. So they're not going to train you to do flatbed. They're wanting you to come on with some experience. No DUI or reckless driving tickets within the past 5 years and hazmat preferred. All right, so that's Andress Transportation. And I mean, $12.50 a week for doing flatbed is not great. But that is their guaranteed weekly minimum. So at least they have something. If for some reason you don't go above that, that's going to be your minimum. So you should expect a little bit more than that. But overall, it seems like a pretty okay company. I would give them a shot. Definitely talk to a recruiter, find out what some of these things are. Make sure you want to drive a Freightliner or a Volvo. I'd rather have a Kenworth. That's just me. But at the end of the day, a truck is a truck. If it gets you down the road, who really cares? Okay, moving right along here. DOT Transportation, aka DOT Foods. I want to say I did a shallow dive on the last live stream we did for DOT Foods. Check it out here. Back. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure. I did another live stream a couple of months ago. I'm going to do these from time to time. I'm not going to do them super often because it takes away from doing a regular deep dive video. There will not be a deep dive video this Sunday like normal. I'm doing this one instead. I am dedicating myself to have a limited amount of time focusing on YouTube. I also have another job that I do. I also do some videography work on the side. You know, I do some stuff to keep myself moving. And YouTube is a draw. It takes a lot of work to put these videos together. Way more than most people will ever know. Live streams. Okay, let's see here. Oh, you know, I don't think I put in there what companies I went for. Anyway, okay, DOT Foods, we might take a look at them. Reliable Carriers, I seen that one. DOT Transport. I want to say I did it. I want to say I did a shallow dive on them. I'm not positive though. Okay. If you haven't yet, can you do a dive on Newsombaum? I looked into Newsombaum, and it looks like they're a fantastic company. I haven't done a deep dive on them yet, but they require so much experience. And there's a reason for that, and that they're paying for the experience. Let me take a look here. I wanted to see where they are on my list here to find out. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't Newsombaum. I apologize. It was Bar None. Bar None was the one that requires a good amount of experience. And it looked like a good company. Okay, all right. Get to the deep dives. GP Transco, I definitely have them on my list, I believe. They are coming up in the deep dives. They require 9 months of experience at GP Transco, so it is going to be quite a bit before I get to them. West End Transportation. Also in Atlanta, use a lock. I haven't had a whole lot of issues in Atlanta, but mostly because I parked at that main Petro there, and that thing is on lock, and you have to pay for the parking over there. So they do a pretty good job about keeping scummy folks out of there. I've never had any issues getting anything broken into in Atlanta, only in Memphis. So that's where I stand on that. That being said, driving through Atlanta is miserable. Don't do it if you can avoid it. Yeah. All right. We're going to take a look at reliable carriers here is next on the list. We've done CFI. We've done Walpool. We've done Andress. So let's take a look at reliable carriers. Beautiful trucks. And see what they are about. Why can I spell? I literally just wrote it down. Everybody doing all right? I'm going to do that corny thing again just because I find it funny. Everybody that does live streams, put a one in the chat for whatever. So put a one in the chat if you're from the Discord server. If you're already in the Discord server, you're in there chatting it up. Throw a one in the chat. Let me see that you're here rocking and rolling this evening. We are currently at 5:30 already. Holy cow, we've been going for an hour. Beautiful. All right, let's keep going. All right, flip over to the reaction here. Right away, we're seeing some pretty cars, pretty trucks. Look at that. Yeah, they haul like luxury cars, sports cars, specialty stuff. This is a car transport place, but it's enclosed. So you're not going to see the cars. They're not exposed to the elements, getting rock chips in them. So the thing with this, I could never do it personally because I am too fat. I would never be able to fit outside drivers. Tire program, fuel program, in-house maintenance. Uh-oh. You know what this is screaming to me? This is screaming that this is a lease purchase. Or owner-operator, maybe. Team drivers, okay. So with something specialized like this, like look at how classic that car looks. You don't want that just sitting at a truck stop. You want to get it there, get it done, get it off the truck as quickly as possible. So a lot of that requires some some team driving. We're not stopping. These big trucks are meant to, house people for a long time. Super sleepers. If you've never seen inside one of these, I highly recommend it. Look up on YouTube Super Sleeper interior, and you'll check it out. I did a couple of reactions to those early on and got copyrighted really quickly on those, so I'm not going to even try to pull those up. All right, company drivers, over the road, and regional. Lease and owner operators. Okay, lease, no. Owner operators, fine. Be an owner operator if you want. Local company drivers out of Canton, Michigan, Los Angeles, Chandler, Arizona, Dallas, Texas, Orlando, Florida, and Fairfield, New Jersey. Open deck. Okay, so they do have some open deck too. Okay, so let's just stick with company drivers, over the road, and regional. Company driver details. And see what they are offering. Boom, here it is. And this is why it specializes the way to go. You're going to make a lot more money, but that means that 3 to 5 plus years of over-the-road driving experience and 2 to 3 years plus of car hauling, household good relocation, and other high-value good transport. On a valid Class A CDL, safe driving record, TWIC card required prior to start. This means that you're going to be picking up import cars from the ports. So you'll need your TWIC card to get in and out of the ports. Is a TWIC card required? This is a great conversation for new drivers. No, I don't have my TWIC card. I've never had my TWIC card. I have gone in and out of ports. No problem. Normally, they'll require that you pay for an escort. And it's like $25 for them to take you to the specific spot where you're loading at the port. Not a big deal. Is it easier to get in and out of them? Yes. If your company wants you to have them pay for it. Other than that, don't bother with it. Must have a USA passport card, or an enhanced CDL that would allow you to cross the border into Canada. Okay, so they're doing some cross-country, over-the-border stuff, transporting vehicles. Company over-the-road driver, earning potential of $80,000 to $100,000 yearly for solo drivers average, $220,000 yearly plus for teams. That's some good money, but again, 3 to 5 years of experience. Bunch of videos here to check out what they're all about. These are one of the most recognizable trucks on the road, though. They have a serious name for themselves. They're classy, they're pretty, and you're doing some really cool stuff. So this is an interesting take on some specialized work. Flatbed was my thing. Car hauling might be your thing. Fuel tanker might be somebody else's thing. Find your thing. Find what you really enjoy doing. I think this would be cool as all get out. I'm not going to lie. I couldn't do it. I'm too big. There is no way. All right, so if you have that experience, looks great. 3 to 5 years of experience, like we were talking about, for $80,000 to $100,000 a year, fantastic. So what I would recommend if you're wanting to go this route is you want to do your 6 months to a year with your first over-the-road company, get your experience out of the way. Then start applying to training car hauling jobs. And you can just do a Google search. We'll do it right now. Andress, we were already on that. Google training car hauler jobs. Let's search no experience. Okay, a bunch of Zip recruiters. Let's do Truckers Report. They're normally pretty good at giving some information generally. Hi, I'm wondering if anyone knows vehicle transport that's non-union and hires CDL graduates, holders with little to no experience. I prefer no union since I've heard bad things about them. Okay. Including Jack Cooper Transport and Cassens. Okay, United Road will hire you, I believe. Okay, so that's one that you can look into if that's the path that you're wanting to go. United Road. Cooper and Chassis are probably the best jobs you can get in the car hauling industry as far as wages, benefits, and pension. Okay, so Cooper and Cassins, however you say that. So those are some options to look at if you're wanting to go with reliable carriers in your future. Obviously, you got to get a lot of experience to go with them, but it looks fun as all get out. Okay. I would definitely, yeah, if I could fit in these cars while they're in the truck and not dinging up the doors or anything, I'd 100% go for that. That looks like so much fun. I always thought it would be cool to be a part of a NASCAR crew, showing up and taking the cars to the races. However, I heard that's a ton of work. You actually have to unload all of this stuff yourself, set up, help be a part of the race, stay there for the weekend, load everything back up, and carry on with that. Not a lot more intense than regular car haulers. Okay, so any other companies that you guys want to hear me do a deep dive on, not a deep dive, a shallow dive on, taking a quick look at, leave them in the comments below. I got DOT Transportation coming up next, even though I feel like I've already done that. We'll do it again since there's no other requests coming in. Bar none reviews are terrible, though. Little miles. Yeah, you got to take a look at reviews, guys. Even though I'm not doing this in the shallow dive, it just takes too much time to sit there and read through all the reviews. Super boring. I don't want to sit there and do that. But take a look at the reviews. If there are things that are happening over and over and over again, poor communication, low miles, bad pay, if these things are repetitive in the reviews that you're seeing, it's an actual issue. Now, a lot of people will get ticked off and go write a crummy review about the company, and it might not be a reoccurring thing. So take into consideration that people do get ticked off and go straight to the reviews and tear a company to shreds because one person had one bad experience. Again, just those reoccurring things is what you want to pay attention to. Sheets. Are you talking about like the fuel hauling for the truck stops and gas stations and stuff? Sheets. Night. I've done a deep dive on night transportation. If you haven't already, check out my OK or No playlist on my channel. This is going to show you every single one of the deep dives I've done, the shorts, reels that I pulled off of them, and even my ranking videos, I do believe, are in that playlist. So everything you need to know about companies that I've already done a deep dive on are in there. I understand that some of them are starting to get a little bit outdated. I'm working to finish up all the companies that I have on my list, and right now it's going to take a year. I got to be honest with you guys. The amount of companies that I have on my list already to do, it's going to take me another year at least to finish those up if I'm doing a deep dive every single video, which I don't do. I do some ranking videos. I do some other informational videos. I just did a video interviewing a couple that's a part of the trucking lifestyle and to see what it's like for husbands and wives in the trucking industry. My goal is to help drivers, and it's not always a deep dive. It's not always information about the company. It's any path that I see that could be helpful to drivers. I'm going to try to do a video about it. So I'm here to help you guys as much as I can. And I'm going to try to get through as many of these companies as possible. I did the math on it before. If I were to do every single company that had over 100 trucks, it would take me 2,000 years to get to them at a video per week. So it's never going to happen. I'm hoping maybe by the end of this year, I'll have all the companies and I'll start over. Maybe I'll do something a little bit different by I've thought about the idea of going and actually showing up at some of these locations and seeing what they're all about in person, talking to drivers at the terminals and stuff. I have a feeling that I would become a person on a list. Hey, don't allow this person in. So I'm a little skeptical about doing that. I like the anonymity of doing the phone calls. They don't know who I am. I don't know who they are. And we're starting off fresh. Nobody knows nothing about anybody, and we're learning something new. So, all right, let's go on to the next company here, Sheets. I've seen that one. Cypress Truck Line, Sunbelt Transportation out of Jacksonville, Florida. They are definitely on my list to do a deep dive on. Here soon for Sunbelt Rental or Sunbelt, They do not require any experience, if I believe. Let me check my notes here that I have. I'm gonna give you guys an insight since you guys are here on the live stream. I love you guys showing up to this. I'm gonna let you take a look at my notes. Inside look to the behind the scenes of Trucker 219 live. All right, so here's what I got for companies coming up. Just a quick peek here. Yes, you can see my grocery list on the side. Don't mind that. We got big companies coming up, 4 months experience, 5 months experience, all the way up to the big dogs here, Walmart, Transnational Express, Roadtex. I've got these organized by highest searched on Google. I've done a lot of background research on these just to try to figure out what would look best on the channel and when to do them, what order to do them in, all that fun stuff. So there's some big companies coming up. CPAP recommendations, they are expensive. I don't use a CPAP. Luckily, I haven't been diagnosed with sleep apnea. I also haven't gone and got checked because I don't want to get diagnosed with sleep apnea. So maybe somebody can answer that. FinTech Fortified. FinTech Fortified asks CPAP recommendations. Help a brother out. All right, we're moving right along here. DOT Transport. Let's go ahead and take a deep dive or shallow dive into them. I keep calling it deep dive. DOT Transport. DTI. This looks like the one that I'm thinking that you're thinking about. New to driving. Find a school, training and orientation. Okay, so maybe they... Training and orientation. Okay. Okay, driver. All right, let's flip over here. You guys are already on it. Just kidding. Driver training and orientation schedule. Week 1, classroom orientation. Week 2, on the road. Week 3, classroom orientation. Week 4, back on the road. And then the final test would be after that. What does this look like? Hours of service training, OSHA training, emergency plan. This is your first week in the classroom. Bunch of stuff. I can't tell if they train drivers. Okay, all right. So it says that training is what takes up the majority of the first 3 to 12 weeks as a DTI driver. Everybody learns at a different speed and a specific number of weeks for our training program, and leave it as a range of time instead. So instead of saying, hey, you're going for 3 weeks, that's it. If you need some extra training, they're going to give it to you, which is really cool. Everybody does learn at a different pace. Some people never get it at all. Okay, so that's the second week, taking up the most amount of training. Okay, after you do that, our trainees will go back to the classroom to continue to tackle the wide variety of modules and lessons. Ugh, that sounds gross. Modules and lessons. You're sitting at a computer, I'm guessing. That sounds miserable. For the remaining weeks of training, you will be back on the road with your driver trainer until you and your trainer feel that you are going to be safe and comfortable going solo on the road. Okay, so it's cool that they are taking the time to make sure that the drivers are good to go. A lot of times they are like, here, good luck, here's the keys, figure it out. And don't get me wrong, I'm all about a trial by fire, but again, we're dealing with 80,000-pound vehicles here. It's probably better just to be safe. Students and inexperienced drivers. Have you just completed driving school or have been driving with your Class A for less than 200,000 miles? Whoa. That's like 2 years of experience. On average, drivers drive about 2,500 miles per week, meaning that if you're out for 50 weeks or whatever, I forget the math, but it's basically about 100,000 miles per year. Get paid $800 per week during training. So it doesn't look like they have a CDL school, but they will take inexperienced drivers, which is cool. So I'm going to have to add them to my list or figure something out here. Do you have 200,000 miles or more under your belt? So 2 years of experience at $1,300 per week during training. Daily food budget. So for experienced drivers, they're expecting you to make $1,300 per week while training. I don't understand why an experienced driver would need training unless they're the ones doing the training, and your pay should be a heck of a lot more than $1,300 per week if you're doing training. $800 per week is pretty rough for training. Let me take a look at, Covenant was $600 a week. Western was $500. U.S. Express was $650 a week. So $800 a week during training is actually pretty good comparatively to some of the other companies I've recently done a deep dive on. Again, new to driving, find a school. It looks like they got a bunch of resources on here. They have a bunch of partnered schools across the United States. So this might be a good place to get your start in the trucking industry. It's not quite like the other ones where you need a lot of experience. Okay, Gary, Indiana, Drive Co. Learning Academy. I'm trying to find the one that I went to, actually. I went to one in South Bend, Indiana. Apparently that is not an approved school anymore. Womp womp. Drive Co. Professional Truck Driving School. Elgin Community College. Okay, so it looks like the yellow ones are going to be community colleges or colleges, and the other ones are going to be actual truck driving schools. CDL Express, 160 Driving Academy. Okay, a bunch of other stuff there. Anything out here out west? Yes, lots of stuff out west for schools at least. And it looks like these are their terminals too. DOT Transport in-house school. Okay, so they do have some in-house schools. Looks like over here in Idaho, there's one. Illinois. Maryland. Yep, just barely in Maryland. Williamsport, Hagerstown area. New York. Syracuse, basically. So one in Florida, Arkansas, Texas. A couple of different in-house locations. Phoenix Truck Driving School. Other partnered schools that they work with. Cool. This might be a good spot to get started. I would like to call a recruiter and find out some more information about them. But just on a quick deep dive, I'd say, yeah, go for it. Or a quick shallow dive, sorry. 2 weeks in classroom. I'm trying to find anything about pay. Terminals. Okay, let's check out terminal locations. It seems like they're all over the place. Is this the school one? Terminal. Oh, no, these are all terminals. Distribution center. Okay, so the blue ones are distribution center. The yellow ones are terminals. And they are all over the place. Los Angeles, Bakersfield, Salt Lake City, Boise, Idaho, Chicago area, Cleveland, Ohio. All over the place. Not a whole lot here in the Carolinas and Virginia, but Florida's got some. I've seen a lot of comments on my channel asking about spots in Florida. This might be a good one. You got one here in Vidalia, Georgia. Or what? No, this is Florida. Home DC distribution center is in Vidalia, Georgia. I'm like, why is that down there? I know that's not there. Vidalia's right around here somewhere. Anyway, so yeah, lots of spots there for DOT transport. I would say give the recruiter a phone call on this one because especially for that experienced driver spot that I seen over here, where did it go? $1,300 per week. That's weird. Needing 200,000 miles a week or more. That's weird. Call a recruiter on this one. I'm a little bit more hesitant for this one, but it does seem like they train drivers with no experience, which is good. Okay, moving right along here. Everybody doing all right? We're hanging in there, getting through some companies. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 companies so far, and we are quickly approaching 6 o'clock. I have sheets on here still to do. From your guys' request, Tri-State Crumb. Not sure what that means. It was between them and Maverick. Okay. New truck driver out of school. TFI and XPO Logistics. We might be able to get to one of them. Let me mark them down and see if we can make it happen. TFI, we are starting to run out of time here a little bit. I'm wanting to wrap this up here shortly. I appreciate everybody in here. We're at 23 viewers. My very first live stream that I did, I had 3, and 2 of them were me. So I am super stoked to see all you guys in here. Share this with your friends. Enjoy learning about something new, trying to find that spot to go for your first truck driving job, exploring your career options as you're moving forward in the trucking industry. We did reliable carriers, and it looks like they need experience. But in order to get to something like that you want to do, you have to make career moves to move yourself into that position. So be thinking about these things as you guys are moving forward through your career. It's not just about a dry van trailer. There's a lot more opportunity out there, a lot more fun stuff to do. I had a driver maintenance guy who was a truck driver for 20 years, and he actually did WPSO, the poker tournament. He drove trucks for those guys going around the United States, setting up and doing different poker matches. And he said he had a blast doing it. So set up what you want to do in your career. Start thinking about that as you're moving forward through your first 6 months to a year, and start making moves to get there. No harm in bouncing around a couple of different companies to figure out what you like and get after it. Tri-State, yeah, you commented first. We're going to wipe out this TFI and XPO for now and look at Tri-State. Okay, you're going to have to be specific about Tri-State, all-consuming Jaws. Tri-State is one of the biggest names within the United States. Tri-State expedited services, Tri-State warehouses, Tri-State this, Tri-State that. Everything is Tri-State. So be specific if you can of like where they're located. Is it transportation? Is it transport? Is it logistics? Be specific, and I will see about getting to them. Everybody doing all right? It is getting a little bit late here. We're doing good. Thank you guys again so much for joining. All right, let's go ahead and keep on moving forward here. This is a lot of fun. I don't think you guys often have the opportunity to see this side of it, but I'm having a blast. I know I'm just talking to a camera, but I feel like you guys are right here with me. Tri-State Hazmat. Okay, let me mark that down. Yeah, there's a ton of Tri-State stuff. Where we're at, Sheets. And who requested Sheets? Let me see if I can find you here. You are talking about like the fuel hauling. Do Sheets. King Cairo. Yes, King Cairo is the one that requested Sheets, and he did say yes. That it is the fuel company, it looks like. All right, let's check out Sheets. Again, fuel operation is one of the ones that is a specialized thing. Hauling fuel, oil, hazmat stuff, that's specialized operations. Trucking. Sorry, I'm trying to find this specific company. This one's weird because it's not coming up. Who hauls fuel for Sheets? Okay, CLI Transport LP is the dedicated petroleum transporter for Sheets, operating over 130 tanker trucks to deliver fuel to all Sheets convenience stores or locations. So it might say Sheets on the tank, but it is not Sheets that is the one that is owning the company, who's hiring the drivers. It is CLI Transport LP. So let's see if we can find some information about CLI Transport LP. This one is dedicated to sheets, it looks like. So I understand it's super weird. Okay. I'm going to flip over to this reaction side. Either A, my internet is going crazy, or their website is terrible. Because all I'm seeing is this. That's it. What does this thing do? Cookies. I don't want to mess with that. Okay, CLI Transport LP has been making sheets happen as the best-in-class dedicated petroleum transport since 1993. CLI Transport operates in multiple locations across our 6-state footprint that maintain all of the sheets store locations. Currently, CLI Transport operates 130 state-of-the-art tanker trucks and delivers more than 2 billion gallons of petroleum products annually to our locations. This is literally just a plan pot. There is nothing on their website. This is just a video. All right, let's see what else we can find. CLI Transport. So this one's going to be a tricky one. For sheets, you have to look up petroleum driver jobs. Okay, sheets jobs. Okay. Petroleum transport. Okay. Nice. All right, so we got a little bit more information here. Let's do, I've mostly seen sheets in Pennsylvania, am I right? Virginia, okay. Oh, there are some in Ohio too, but right on that border. Virginia, Michigan. Okay, cool. They're expanded more than what I remember them being. I've only ever really remembered seeing them like in Pennsylvania area. Okay, so we're going to look at position type. Let's see driver. See what happens. Not driver, driver. Petroleum transport driver out of Pittsburgh. Let's see what the job is about. Schedule available 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. Out of Neville Island, Pennsylvania. Starting rate of pay is $42.50 an hour. Dang. That's some good money. But you're also hauling a bomb, so that's pretty cool. Oh, did we mention that you're home daily? No, you did not. Okay, qualifications for them. High school diploma, eligible for interstate driving required. Successful completion of the CLI driver trainee program required. Or successful completion of the CLI 2-year enhanced driver program required. Or 4 years of experience and 2,600,000 verifiable tractor trailer miles required. Okay, so you're looking at about 2.5 years, but it's saying 4 years of experience required to start with them. Driving experience within the last 2 years or the past 3 years with over 1 million miles required. 1 million miles would take about 10 years, 8 to 10 years roughly to make that. So you're going to have 4 years of experience. It looks like regardless, there's not an or here. So 2 years with a ton of miles or 4 years with a little bit less miles, which that doesn't make any sense at all, but there we are. CDLA with hazmat and tanker required. Valid medical examiner certificate or med card in accordance with DOT guidelines. Transportation worker identification card, TWIC, required at some terminal locations. Okay. Some ham tools are required. Hammer, measuring devices, wrench, level, etc. Sheets is committed to the full inclusion of all qualified individuals. Sheets is committed to considering all applicants, regardless of disability, who can perform all essential job duties with or without accommodations. Okay, so I mean this could be a path. This could be a path that you might want to take. Starting out, you're going to have to get some experience. 4 years of experience is required to do this, similar to the 3 to 5 over at Reliable Carriers that we checked out. But this could be a path for you. And your mom's going to freak out when she hears that you're making $42.50 an hour. I would freak out making that much money. Then again, when I was over the road, I did the math. In order for me to make what I was making over the road in a 40-hour-a-week job, it would have had to been $50 an hour. But of course, I was working way more than 40 hours a week over the road. All right, so that's pretty good. Let's see about some other locations. It's not really telling a whole lot of like what the training and stuff looks like. Virginia. Start times at 12:15 a.m., 1:15 a.m., and 1:15 p.m. Okay, so a lot of these jobs with petroleum is going to be overnight. You don't want to be trying to load up fuel and stuff while cars are zipping all over the place. Home daily, and you have 4-day work weeks. Oh, that's cool too. 4-day work weeks making that much money an hour. Okay. So you're probably working some serious hours, though. I would imagine you're about 12 hours a day. You're in a local radius, so you can work up to 14 even driving in that. So obviously you're going to be out of the truck loading and unloading fuel. So yeah, it definitely seems like something cool if that's what you're wanting to get into. Okay. Again, though, we're looking at 4 years of experience, or you'd have to complete a CLI driver training program and have your hazmat and tanker and all that. So they might give them a call on this one because they actually might take somewhat newer drivers with their training program. I wouldn't hire somebody new. Out of Roanoke, Virginia, you're at $40.70 an hour. That's still good money. There's nothing to scoff at on that. And let's check out Michigan. Let's see what Michigan is at per hour. Pennsylvania, you're doing the most so far. Detroit, you're looking pretty good too. $43.50 an hour, full-time on site. Hours are 2:30 a.m. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Those are your 4 days that you're working. Or 2:30 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This seems like a great gig. I mean, 4 days a week, making $40+ an hour. You can't go wrong with that. Let's take a look and see how much you would make with this one. This one's going to be fun. Calculator, sorry. I'm going to switch over here. Let's say at minimum, this isn't going to happen. You're going to work way more than this, but minimum that times $43.50 an hour out of Detroit. You're looking at $17.40 a week pre-tax and only working 4 days. How freaking cool is that? But again, there's that small little thing. You got a bomb strapped to your back. If you're a smoker, don't even bother going through this. And that's at 40 hours a week. Let's just see. Let's have some fun here. Let's say you work 12-hour days, 4 days a week. 12 times 4 is 48 hours a week. Multiply that by the 43.50. That's not going to be that much more. $2,088 a week for 12-hour days, 4 days a week. This is a no-brainer. If you got the experience and you're comfortable hauling a bomb, I'm curious. Okay, this one's got me intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued by this one here. Let's look up, just out of curiosity, how many fuel tanker accidents per year. Approximately 1,300 cargo tank rollovers occur involving tanker trucks are reported annually in the United States. Okay, so this is just rollovers, including collisions, injuries, fatalities are higher, with one source stating over 9,600 tanker truck accidents in a recent year, leading to 370 fatalities. Let's say in the U.S. Still the same number. Okay, so this mostly rollovers. And if you're hauling liquid, it's definitely a danger. People pulling out in front of you, the surge of the load. Okay, so let's see, tanker explosions, fires. Okay, it's just showing the accident still. Okay, cool. So 1,300 per year out of all the drivers. I don't know. I'd say it might be worth the risk for $43 an hour. What do you think? Would you guys go and strap a bomb to your back and run the potential of blowing up for $43.50 an hour? Let me know down in the comments. What about Gemini that hauls Love's tankers? Yeah, so it looks like a lot of these companies that are fuel related are not the actual company. They're separate entities that are dedicated to whatever convenience store. Obviously, you see Love's is Gemini, big yellow trucks going down the road. Pilot might be actually their own trucking company. We'd have to look into that. Robinson's Ready Mix and Cool Transportation. Okay, we are slimming down here towards the end. I got requests to do Tri-State Hazmat, and that's probably going to be our final one here that we're taking a look at, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I will happily wrap it up with some Q&As, but we're going to go ahead and try to see about finding that company specifically. I cannot guarantee that I'm going to find the right company. Tri-State, Hazmat, Trucking. Tri-State Hazmat. Okay, this might be it. We're going to go for it. All right, flip over to the reaction here. Everybody doing all right? Hard to decide whether you would want to put a tank or a tank on your back and go for it. That's a tough one for me too. I used to smoke pretty heavily, so back then it wouldn't have worked. But now I pretty much exclusively just use vape. Speaking of which, but yeah, $43 an hour is pretty hard to pass up. That's some dang good money. All right, so Tri-State Motor Transit Hazmat driver jobs. Currently hiring Class A hazmat teams and tanker drivers in all 50 states. If you're not making $100,000 to $125,000 a year, join us. Out of curiosity, real quick, we were at that $43 an hour. At the most is $2,088 a week times 52 weeks a year. What is Sheets making? $108,000 a year. All right, now that I got that out of the way. All right, so we're just going to stick with solo because I don't know what your guys' life situation is like, whether you're trying to team or not. But I tell you what, if I ever want a team again, I know how to do it. Tanker hazmat driver jobs, apply now. No, I don't want to apply now. Show me what you're making. Our top earners are at $130,000 per year. 13% earned 101, 32% earned 95, and 64% earned 87. This statistically is the more likely number. So you're looking at $87,000 per year. Other long haul, $64,000 per year based off ZipRecruiter estimates. Not super reliable source, but that's okay. Can I click that? All right, maybe not. Driver benefits, $1,750 transportation bonuses payable in the first 3 weeks. Guaranteed $1,700 to $2,000 per week paid weekly. That's pretty cool. I love hearing guaranteed. Assuming they actually guarantee it, you get it in writing. Steady work hauling specialized freight. Annual retention bonus products. Annual retention and production bonuses of up to $15,000. Again, bonuses, don't take those seriously. They may or may not happen. If so, fantastic. If not, you don't have to worry about it. Company benefits, 100% employee paid health insurance. All plans include virtual options, vision, dental, paid time off up to 4 weeks. Company provided 50,000 life insurance policy, wide variety of supplemental insurances from Voya available, hazmat endorsement, verifiable Class A CDL, 23 years old, minimum of 1 year recent over-the-road experience. So you might not necessarily need hazmat experience, but you will need 1 year of over-the-road experience. Okay, similar stuff here. Driver retention, drive the newest Kenworths, Volvos, and Freightliners. Equipment with state-of-the-art features like e-logs, refrigerators, APUs, Sirius XM, and comfortable and spacious sleepers for driver comfort. I feel like I'm like Vanna White or something like that telling about whatever thing is in the giveaway. Continuous training and support, dispatch. Yep. Providing continuous training. Okay. So they're saying what you're going to make, guaranteed of $1,700 to $2,000 per week paid weekly, but they're not saying any cents per mile or anything like that. Take note of this part right here. 13% are at over 100,000. The majority of everybody else is around 87,000. So keep that in mind. That again, this is why we dive into these. At first, what was it saying on the homepage here? If you're not making 100 to 125 a year, join us. Okay, you're not making 100 to 125 a year either for everybody. 64% of your people are making 85. So these upfront advertisements, and now these are totally different numbers too. 93% averaged over 75. They're all over the place. That automatically trips red flags. Industry serviced. Okay, this could be a lot of fun. U.S. Department of Defense for arms, ammunition, and explosives. Something like this is going to either A, require a team operation, or B, you're not stopping. Those loads do not stop. They will not leave that on the side of the road. So you better be ready to pee in a jug, have plenty of food, and be ready to rock and roll. Anything for the U.S. Department is you start and you don't stop till it's done. So whether that's teaming, whatever it is, yeah. So it seems like a lot of fun. I would have loved, and I still want to in my career at some point, haul a helicopter and a tank on the back of a flatbed. And also, since we're over an hour and a half, almost 2 hours into this live stream, I'm going to use a cuss word. I want to haul donkeys one time, just so I could say that I'm hauling ass. Just one time. Yeah, overall, Tri-State, it looks okay. I would call them and get some more clarification on the pay because it does seem like they're kind of all over the place. Earning up to $2,500 per week for team drivers. It seems okay. Again, call the recruiters and get some more clarification because what they're showing on their website is all over the place. You will have to have hazmat and tanker, and I believe, if I remember right, is 1 year of experience. Yep, 1 year of recent over-the-road experience in order to work for them. So give them a call if that's the direction that you're wanting to take. And then maybe from there, if they're over the road, switch over to Sheets and stay home, work for 4 days, and make $43 an hour, I believe it was. All right, so we got Sheets and Tri-State. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start winding this live stream down. My voice is starting to crack a little bit. Gemini definitely hauls for tankers. I need to get my hazmat. These jobs sound good. Yeah, definitely something to look at. Also, if you're wanting to do LTL freight, your FedEx, R&L carriers, UPS, SDs, anything like that is going to require the big three. They're going to require doubles and triples, hazmat, and tanker. So if you're wanting to drive LTL, those are some of the more sought after jobs. You're going to want to get that experience and get those endorsements in order to do that. So hazmat's definitely something that would be a benefit to you. That being said, I've gone my entire career and I've never had my hazmat. I've never had my tanker. I've never had any endorsements other than a motorcycle endorsement. So, you're going to team up with me, all consuming Jaws. All right, let's get after it, man. Man, I don't know if I could do team anymore. I am so set in my ways of driving. I like to be chill. I like to relax. I like to jam out to some music. And I get ticked off if anybody's doing anything differently than the way I would do it running the truck. So I don't know if team is in my vocabulary anymore unless it's with like a spouse or a partner or something like that. It would be cool though. It was a lot of fun doing teaming. As we're wrapping this up here, guys, feel free to ask me any questions about me personally, about trucking, whatever it is. You guys have been here this whole time. We're still rocking at 20 viewers. This is amazing for me sitting here and just gabbing to you guys for an hour and 45 minutes. I love you all. I hope you guys have nothing but the most success in your careers. I'm hoping that this channel is helping you see the work that goes into trying to find your jobs. You're looking at reviews, you're doing some online research, calling recruiters, talking to drivers at truck stops. Put in the legwork. Don't just jump over to another company just because it sounds better, because a lot of people are talking out their behind. They're telling you whatever they want to tell you to get you to come on board so they can get that sign-on bonus. And it's unfortunate, but it's just the name of the game in the industry. Do your research and don't jump just because it sounds better either. If a company's treating you fair, they're treating you good, you're getting paid on time, you're not having somebody over your shoulder, they trust you, stick it out with the company. You don't have to jump. I would only make jumps in your career if it's going to be a significant increase in pay, if it's going to move you in a direction that you want to go, whether it be flatbed, tanker, heavy haul, things like that. Move towards those things. Then you can make a jump. But other than that, or if you get fired for whatever reason, sometimes people will let you go because it's seasonal work. The big money is with team drivers. It can be. It really can be. But you're gone a lot. So if you're single and that's something that you want to do, great. Or if you're teaming up with a spouse, holy crap, you can make some serious money if you got your spouse a CDL too, and you guys can go and just live out the dream, travel the country and get paid to do it. Who doesn't want to do that? That sounds fantastic. Work for 2 months, make a bunch of money, take a week off in whatever state you want to go to. California, go to Maine, go to Florida, go to wherever you want in the country, take a week off, get a rental car, catch an Airbnb, go see the sights. Dude, that sounds freaking awesome. I would love to do that. And I actually kind of have plans to do that with my partner as the kids are starting to grow up and getting out of the house. All right, let's see if we got any questions in here. You're welcome, all consuming Jaws. I enjoy helping out drivers. I didn't have all these resources when I was starting out in trucking, and I was completely lost. So I did jump a bunch of companies trying to figure it out, trying to figure out what I wanted. And I wish I had some of these resources, even what to bring on your first truck driving job. I didn't know. I mean, I had the small list that PTL actually gave me. But outside of that, I didn't have a whole lot of information. I was relying on word of mouth. So I'm glad to be that help for other drivers. I'm coming up on 10 years of experience at the end of April here. I've been doing it a long time, lots of different paths of trucking, flatbed, dump trailers, dump trucks, box, reefer. I've done a lot of stuff in the trucking industry, and all this experience is only good for me if I'm not sharing that with you guys. So it's definitely a blessing for me to be able to pass that along to some newer drivers. TFI and XPO Logistics, King Cairo. You guys down for it? We want to do one more. Is TFI and XPO the same company? Let's see what you guys are saying here. I'm not sharing a cab though. Yeah. I've teamed obviously in training and stuff, but I've teamed with another guy. His name is Jeremy, and we are really good buds to this day. But we teamed together at 3 different companies, and we worked really hard, and we had a system that worked out well. And even him that we had worked for 3 different companies, he was starting to get on my nerves. I love him to death, but that much time in a cab with somebody, it's tough. It's a lot of stress. Fights do happen. I mean, not necessarily physical, but you guys get under each other's skin. XPO. Yeah. So teaming is it's an acquired taste. Definitely an acquired taste. Okay, so XPO is LTL. No, what did you... Okay, so TFI and XPO are 2 different companies. Got it. XPO Logistics, we're going to skim through this so quick right now, it's not even funny. No, I don't want you to see my location. Sure, I'll accept cookies. Okay, let's click over here to reaction. We're on XPO real quick. I want to answer any questions that you guys have and get a little bit personal with you guys a little bit. Let's grow together. LTL drivers, XPO driver school. Okay. They have drivers. Good Lord. I do not want to share my location. Okay. So all this driver school is an application. XPO will train you. So you're going to have to call a driver recruiter on that. Team drivers, LTL drivers. Oh, maybe. No. Again, just applications. Oh, I hate when they do that. Give me some information. Careers, drivers. Again, we're in the same spot. Driver school. They're just wanting you to connect with a recruiter. A company. There's really not a whole lot of information at all. Driver efficiency, pushing for excellence. There's nothing on here at all, bud. XPO, carriers overview. Benefits from reimbursement and cool, culture of winning. Awesome. Man, I hate when companies don't give you anything. Like they're not doing anything to show you what it is. They're advertising to shippers. They're giving shippers more information on what they are about getting a job. Help us deliver world-class LTL. Again, same thing here. Drivers. Unfortunately, XPO is not going to do it. They're not going to give me anything. I cannot recommend somebody that's not going to give you anything. TFI, you said? TFI. International. Solutions, investors, contact news company. People, solutions. Maybe. Let's search trucking. Yeah, this is becoming like a black hole here. International. This is the one you're talking about, right? We got some new people coming in. Hey, we're almost 2 hours into this thing here, and we're wrapping it up. Honestly, I just wanted to take some questions from you guys, real quick. Anything you guys want to know about trucking, we're gonna call it. But I wish I could do more. But their websites aren't showing anything. This is going to require a recruiter phone call. There's no other way around it. Maybe looking at some reviews online for both TFI and XPO, unfortunately. So we tried. We gave it a go. Running out of time here. Any questions, guys, before we get going? Anything you want to know about me, about trucking? We're done with the the looking for companies here. We are going to shut that down. Any questions as we're wrapping up? I appreciate you guys taking your time. to come and sit with me tonight. The next live, I don't have anything scheduled. It's kind of on a whim, to be honest. I don't have a plan for doing lives. Anytime I just feel like, hey, sitting down with you guys and hanging out. Generally, it's probably going to be around the same days, like Saturday evenings, around the same time frame. So if there's another one of those, probably in the next couple of months, I don't want to do them so often that it becomes the main thing on the channel. I'm still wanting to do deep dives, get a lot more information about these companies. Soldest, hey brother, any plans to do Heartland Express? We were just looking into them. So when this live stream posts, go ahead and check out the live stream. And CFI and Heartland Express are going to become the same company, so they're going to be in there. That's a shallow dive. When's your next video going to drop? Probably next Sunday. I don't have anything set up as far as what I'm doing exactly. In order to do, okay, so guys, in order to do the deep dives, I have to take time off of work because these companies are only open during normal working hours. So I have to make sure that I can be off on days that they are going to be able to do a recruiter phone call. Now, on those days that I have off, I try to slam out a bunch of recruiter phone calls and then go back and do the research on it afterwards. So it does take time to get those things done. Honestly, these live streams are kind of filler for me to give me a little bit more time to do that. I still got a whole life of things going on. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me on getting the deep dives out. I know I've gone through now 3 weeks now of not having a deep dive out, but we did the ranking video, and as soon as we get done with these companies that are not requiring any experience, we're going to go on a nice big stretch of doing some ranking videos based off pay, based off home time, based off all the stuffs, and just do a bunch of different ranking videos. And I'd like to try to hammer those out all at once and try to get those put out. But I don't want to recommend or not recommend or rank a company that I haven't done a deep dive on yet. So we are at 20 companies right now. My goal is to get to 25, 30, and then we're going to be done with companies that don't require any experience and move on to some companies that do. So appreciate you guys taking the time. Let's see if there's any last little questions here while we finish up. Thanks for your videos. Love the channel. Thank you, buddy. Next video is probably going to drop next Sunday. You guys know, if you guys have been watching my channel for any period of time, I'm normally dropping Sunday between 10 and 12 o'clock. That's generally my day to release a video. Gives people time to watch that throughout the week, whatever. That's kind of my go-to time. All right, great stuff. Always, brother. Whenever you do a deep dive on Heartland, I will put in my 2 cents. Already started working there. So far, not bad, although their terminals are bare bone. LOL. Okay. Hey, Soldis, shoot me an email, and maybe when I get to the deep dive, what did I say? It was 6 months of experience required? Yeah, maybe when I get to that deep dive, we'll do like a video chat or a phone call or something like that. This way you can give your experience in the video if you're open to it. Shoot me an email at thetrucker219@gmail.com. Okay. Thanks for the videos. You are welcome. All right, folks. I think we're gonna call it. It is coming up on 6:30. It's been a 2-hour long live stream. This is the longest one I've done since the original one that I did that had a whopping 3 viewers. The most I seen in here today was 34 viewers. Let's go. Shout out to you guys for joining in and having a good time learning something about some companies. Looks like you guys have been really chatty in the comments, which I love. You guys are working together. Hey, real quick plug to what we got going on over here. Discord. Discord is the place to be on the Trucker 219 server for information about companies. I've got different different brackets for each company where drivers are sharing their experience. Any questions you want to ask, we help each other out over there. It's free, absolutely free to join. There's no cost to it at all. Memberships on the channel, those cost $2 a month. It just goes to support me. You're really not getting a whole lot for $2 a month, but it's an extra way to say, hey, thanks Trucker 219 for putting in all the work that you do. I really appreciate that. If you start with your first truck driving job, I know I'm running behind on getting pictures printed out, but I want to throw you up on the Cab Climb Club. We got a bunch of trucks up there already. They've been up there for a while. I am severely lacking. I've got like 4 other trucks I need to add to there. But the best way to shoot your picture of your first solo truck is on Discord. Favorite truck, Kenworth. T680s are okay. My dream truck is a W900 with an 86-inch studio sleeper. It's got the bed on the top, a couch at the bottom, set up a TV, cruise down the road, sit back and relax in the evenings. Such a beautiful truck. I know a lot of people's favorite trucks is a Peterbilt. I've just always been a fan of Kenworth over it. I know they're basically the same thing. But yeah, that's my favorite truck. Any other questions here? Favorite truck stop. So there's, okay, I got one for this. Let me look up the exact name of it. I'm actually going to have to use my phone for this. On Trucker Path. If you haven't got Trucker Path yet, I'm not sponsored by them, but I've used them for years. It's a great spot to find truck stops, what the parking's doing. But there's I want to say it's an AMCO truck stop just into New Mexico on I-40. And they have a car museum inside of the truck stop. And it's super cool. The diner, the food is really good. I'm not going to take the time to look up the exact one, but if you look up truck stop with car museum inside New Mexico, it's right as you get into New Mexico from Texas from Oklahoma on I-40. Love the ranking videos. Let's go. All right. I appreciate that. Yeah, no worries, Soldas. That's fine. We'll do what we normally do and just find some other people talking about them. Love Trucker Path. Yep. All right, guys. That's going to be it for this one. I appreciate you guys. Again, love you guys. Thanks for taking the time. I hope you guys nothing but the best in your careers. I hope these videos are able to help you make a decision. Or if not, at least you know what to look for. At least you know, look for red flags, call the recruiters, sniff out the BS that they put out. And I enjoy all of you guys. Thank you for taking the time this Saturday evening to come and hang out with me. Yeah, that's it. We'll talk to you soon. Next video is probably going to be, like I said, next Sunday. That's it. Thank you. All right. Bye.